Hi everyone, my name is Anuj Jindal and today we are going to talk about past year questions on UG which have been asked in UGC NET from the Polity section. तो Polity section से हमेशा 2 या 3 क्वेश्चन आते हैं in paper 1 and paper 1 consists of 50 questions of 100 marks. 2 या 3 क्वेश्चन मतलब 6% का उसका वेटेज हो गया. Now this 6% weightage is actually a lot because I'll tell you the reason. The reason is पॉलिटी के क्वेश्चंस फैक्चुअल नहीं होते बहुत ज़्यादा, दे आर मोर एनालिटिकल नाउ. आप लोगों ने देखा होगा, मैंने भी देखा है, आई ऑल्सो सीन द सेम दैट वेर एवर यू स्टडी वेदर इट्स ऑनलाइन और ऑफलाइन आपको गलत पढ़ा रहे हैं पॉलिटी में. एंड दैट इज़ द रीज़न दैट स्टूडेंट्स एंड अप लीविंग द एंटायर पॉलिटी सेक्शन. पूरा सेक्शन छोड़ के चले जाते हैं. वाई? Because they think it's too difficult. Why do they think it is too difficult? Because there is no relation between what you have been taught and what has been asked in the examination. तो हम उस मिथ को ख़त्म करने के लिए, in order to break that, what we are going to do is we are going to analyze the past year papers first. 3 साल के पेपर जो लेटेस्ट ट्रेंड, लेटेस्ट पैटर्न बताते हैं, मतलब 6 पेपर टोटल हम एनालाइज कर रहे हैं. एक पेपर हम लोग कर चुके हैं एनालाइज, जिसमें क्वेश्चंस पूछे गए थे पॉलिटी से रिलेटेड. अब हम नेक्स्ट पेपर पे चलेंगे. हमने 5 क्वेश्चन किए थे, उसमें से प्रेसिडेंट से रिलेटेड क्वेश्चन आई थिंक वर अवेलेबल, आई एम नॉट वेरी श्योर. जो भी प्रेसिडेंट से रिलेटेड क्वेश्चंस हैं, जो भी मतलब सेम एरिया के क्वेश्चंस हैं, those questions have been given the same picture. That is the way that you can identify, okay, this is a question from the president, this is a question from the prime minister, this is a question from the area of Lok Sabha or the parliament. तो इस तरह से हम लोग आगे चलेंगे so that you are able to identify कि कौन से सेक्शन में से सबसे ज़्यादा क्वेश्चन आ रहे हैं. एंड लेट मी टेल यू इन एडवांस, प्रेसिडेंट इज द एरिया जहाँ से हमेशा एक क्वेश्चन आया ही आया है. प्रेसिडेंट से चांसेस आर वेरी हाई एंड नॉर्मली करंट अफेयर्स से भी कुछ ना कुछ क्वेश्चन उठाया जाता है, बट दैट एरिया, दैट क्वेश्चन इज आस्क्ड इन द फॉर्म ऑफ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. तो अगर कुछ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में उस एरिया के बारे में दिया गया है, दैट हैज़ अ मोर चांस ऑफ बीइंग आस्क्ड. जैसे LGBT पे कुछ सम डिसीजन हैज़ बीन मेड टुडे. सो what are the constitutional implications of that decision that might be asked. Question वहाँ से create हो सकता है एक question. Not a very difficult area, you don't have to worry about it. मैं पूरा इस तरह से पढ़ाऊँगा so that at the end of the session, at the end of all these past year paper analysis in the entire polity section, you feel that you can answer the questions with ease if you are prepared well. And 6% marks is not less for you to cover. तुम्हारा objective है कि 50 में से 50 खींचना. ऑब्जेक्टिव ये नहीं रखना दैट यू हैव टू स्ट्रेच 40 on 50, दैट इज 80 मार्क्स. योर ऑब्जेक्टिव हैज़ टू बी 100%. ओके, ओनली देन you will end up getting 80-90%. Okay, so that your burden on paper 2 releases. A little bit about myself. I have done BCom honors from Hindu College, Delhi University, MCom from Delhi School of Economics. I have a JRF in commerce as well, which I got in my first attempt. And I have worked in McKinsey and Company for some time, and I have also worked in SBI as a PO. I got selected in the year 2014. I decided to leave after that because I joined my MCom from DSE and I had a very strong inclination towards teaching, so I decided let's leave it. I have given UPSC interviews twice in 2012 and 2014 and RBI interviews thrice, 2014, 15 and 16. I also teach for RBI, so if you are willing to prepare for RBI, then you can get in touch with me so that I can provide you guidance for that as well. Let's come to the first question for today. ये भी प्रेसिडेंट से है. इंस्टेड ऑफ होल्डिंग द ऑफिस ड्यूरिंग द प्लेजर ऑफ द प्रेसिडेंट, हु अमंग द फॉलोइंग होल्ड्स ऑफिस ड्यूरिंग गुड बिहेवियर. अब प्रेसिडेंट की जब हम बात करेंगे देन वील सी दैट प्लेजर ऑफ द प्रेसिडेंट के क्लियरली डिफाइंड डायमेंशंस हैं कि हु ऑल आर द पीपल और द पोस्ट विच आर हेल्ड एट द प्लेजर ऑफ द प्रेसिडेंट. जो भी उनमें से प्लेजर पे नहीं है, that becomes our answer here. Governor is appointed by the president at the pleasure of the president. Attorney General of India by the president at the pleasure of the president. That means pleasure का मतलब होता है कभी भी हटा सकता है वो by an executive order. Administrators of UT, yes, by the pleasure of the president. Like Lieutenant Governor जो दिल्ली के हैं, बहुत बार चेंज होते रहते हैं recently because of the problems with आम आदमी पार्टी, and they are held at the pleasure of the president. उसमें पार्लियामेंट जाने की या कोर्ट जाने की ज़रूरत नहीं पड़ती है. Judges of the High Court are actually appointed by the President, but they don't work at the pleasure of the President. उनको हटाना इतना आसान नहीं है. The President has to go to the Parliament. The proposal has to go to the Parliament. So our correct answer here is 2C only. That is our correct answer here. The next question again related to the president, same year it has been asked, which of the following are not necessarily the immediate consequences of proclamation of president's rule in a state? Immediate consequences not. Which of these are not, मतलब ये immediate consequences नहीं है प्रेसिडेंट रूल के प्रोक्लेमेशन के लिए. प्रेसिडेंट रूल अगर कहीं स्टेट में लगता है तो क्या होगा और क्या नहीं होगा? डिसोल्यूशन ऑफ स्टेट असेंबली होगा या नहीं होगा? रिमूवल ऑफ काउंसिल ऑफ मिनिस्टर्स, टेक ओवर ऑफ द स्टेट एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन बाय द यूनियन गवर्नमेंट, अपॉइंटमेंट ऑफ अ न्यू चीफ सेक्रेटरी. तो अब हमें इसमें बताना है कि कौन कौन से नहीं हैं. ऑप्शंस हमारे हैं 1 A एंड D, तो ये हमारे ऑप्शंस हैं. अब हम इसमें क्या करेंगे? अ वेरी टिपिकल क्वेश्चन, बिकॉज इसमें बहुत सारे अजीब अजीब से ऑप्शंस हैं. यू नीड टू कवर अ लॉट ऑफ एरियाज. टेक ओवर ऑफ स्टेट एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन बाय द यूनियन गवर्नमेंट. अब जब प्रेसिडेंट रूल लग रहा है स्टेट में, इट इज़ ऑब्वियस दैट द स्टेट एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन विल बी टेकन ओवर बाय द यूनियन गवर्नमेंट. सी हमारा चला गया, सी बचा गया 1 A and D. Even if you don't know the answer, you can actually find out the answer through this. Removal of council of ministers in a state, ये भी थोड़ा obvious है, and the reason for that is कि council of ministers are the executive of the state which depict and define the older government which is running in the state. President rule लगाया गया है, मतलब that means that the government which is running in the state is not functioning properly, and therefore council of ministers have to go and they have to be replaced by someone else. That means that it is an immediate cause. So this is also not our answer. So हमारा आंसर बहुत easily find out हो गया. We have found it out as 1 A and D only. Which of the following statements are correct? So there are statements related with Rajya Sabha. तो यहाँ पर we can identify that okay, Rajya Sabha is also important, and it is indeed very important. As I said in the starting also of my lecture, Rajya Sabha, Lok Sabha, that is the entire parliament, is important. Rajya Sabha is a permanent house which can be dissolved only during national emergency. Which can be dissolved. It is a permanent house, it cannot be dissolved. It is an incorrect statement. Does not represent local interests of the state. This is a correct statement. It represents interest of the states but not local interest. Members of the Rajya Sabha are not bound to vote at the dictates of the states they represent. It is also correct. No UT has a representative in the Rajya Sabha. So what we've done is we have removed A. A is incorrect, A is incorrect, B is correct, C is correct. So we are stuck between B and C and B, C and D only. No union territory has a representative in the Rajya Sabha. Is it correct? It is not correct. Why? Look at Delhi. Delhi is a UT and it has a representation in the Rajya Sabha. So this is also incorrect. So our answer is 2, B and C only. So with your layman understanding also, you can actually come to the answers if you can make those connections between the question, between the options and what you see around yourself. Which of the following or who among the following can be removed by the president without parliament's resolution? Again, a question on the president. Judge of a high court, we just read that president cannot remove judge of a high court before or without moving to the parliament. So this is incorrect. Governor of a state, yes, he can be removed without going to the parliament. I gave you the example also of the Delhi's lieutenant governor who had been removed recently. So answer is B, or second, governor of a state. The other two are also constitutional posts and therefore they also cannot be removed without going to the parliament. Which of the following comes within the ambit of the term corruption? A very broad question, I would say, and a very difficult question in that term as well. So this question says, which of the following comes within the ambit of the term corruption? Misuse of official position, deviation from rules, regulations and laws, non-action when action is required, and harm to public good. So a difficult question. If you look at from layman's perspective, then what can you figure out? Misuse of official position? Yes, there certainly is. Do you deviate from rules, laws and norms? Yes, you certainly do. You have to do some things that legally you are not allowed to do or you should not be doing. So that is certainly there. Is there harm to the public? Yes, there might be harm to the public. Non-action when action is required. This is a little confusing and I could not find the answer key here. Transparency International website, which defines corruption at an international level, has not included non-action when action is required. And if we keep that in mind, then the answer should be 3. Otherwise, our answer should be 4. So this is a a little bit of confusion here with respect to what the answer can be. In my opinion, अगर मैं अपने नॉलेज के हिसाब से बताऊं तो नॉन एक्शन व्हेन एक्शन इज रिक्वायर्ड इज नॉट एक्चुअली करप्शन. एग्जाम्पल लें, अयोध्या में 1992 में देयर वर सम राइट्स based on Hindu-Muslim situation and rivalry, and the police did not take any action. So it did not come under corruption. Non-action, action was required. The police did not take any action. Or in Gujarat, when the riots were held, the police did not take any action. It did not. They were not charged under corruption. They were charged under negligence, charged under non-action, charged under not following their duty. So various other charges were made, but corruption was not one of them. So if we keep that in mind, then C is not correct. So our answer should be 3, A, B and D. The next question is, in which of the following cases the principle of natural justice, that is to hear the other party, must be followed? Even if you don't know, you can answer this question. The word here is natural justice. That means justice that is natural and that should be provided to everyone. So our answer, without any analysis, without any detailed understanding, is 4th, A, B, C and D. So the answer is 4 here. Which of the following statements are correct about the powers of the governor of a state? C. Rajagopalachari was the first Governor General of India, and that's why his picture is here. He has the power to dissolve the Legislative Assembly. He has the power to appoint judges of the High Court. Judges of the High Court are appointed by the President and not Governor, so this is incorrect. He has the power to grant pardon in case of death sentence. Governor has all the other powers other than pardon powers, so C is not our answer. He has diplomatic powers. Again, these are powers of the President. This is also a power of the President. So this is also not a power. And he certainly has the power to dissolve the Legislative Assembly. The Governor and not the President. The President, not necessarily. The Governor can also take that action. So our answer is 1A only. If you look at India's history, in Indian history also, especially in Bihar, Governor was specially used to dissolve the Legislative Assembly and to impact or influence the administration of Bihar by the central government. Let's say the central government was by UPA or at that time Congress, and the government in Bihar was by any other regional party, or let's assume it was by BJP. Okay, we don't know, we are making an assumption. So at that time period, what happened was Congress used, or the government in the center used the governor in order to dissolve the Legislative Assembly again and again, so that the government in Bihar could not function, and people would start blaming the local government or the state government and not the central government. Which of the following statements are not correct in respect of Rajya Sabha? Another question on Rajya Sabha, you can see here. It has same powers as those of Lok Sabha. It can pass a vote of no confidence against the Council of Ministers. It cannot. We will have to read about it. So Rajya Sabha is also important. President is also important. It can amend a money bill. No, it cannot. It can be dissolved during emergency. No, it cannot. As I said, it's a permanent house. So it cannot be dissolved during emergency also. So what we have seen here is we are asked not correct. So B, C and D, all three are not correct. And it cannot amend a money bill, it cannot be dissolved, and it cannot pass a vote of no confidence. That means it does not have the same powers. So this is also not correct. So our answer is 4, A, B, C and D. Which of the following are statutory bodies? So in the constitution there are two kinds of bodies, constitutional and non-constitutional. There is another third one which is constitutional and statutory, but here we are given only statutory, which means non-constitutional. Election Commission of India is the only constitutional body here. All three are non-constitutional yet statutory bodies. So our answer is 2, B, C and D. Very easy question, not a difficult question if you apply some common sense. Which of the following statements are correct in respect of Niti Aayog? Is it a constitutional body? No. It was asked in the year 2016, and Niti Aayog was also created around that time. Therefore, this question coming from current affairs. Is it a statutory body? No. It is, yes, neither constitutional nor a statutory body. So our answer is C. And yes, it is a think tank also. So our answer is 3, C and D. That is our correct answer. Which of the following are the fundamental duties? To respect the national flag. Whatever fundamental duties we have, they're very easy to remember and recall. So we will be covering all the fundamental duties one by one, और हम उनको easily recall भी कर पाएंगे. National flag, natural environment, yes. Education, yes. Place of national important monument DS. So our answer is very easy, A, B, C and D. The National Judicial Appointments Commission NJAC has been declared unconstitutional by another one from current affairs. It was the Supreme Court of India which was threatened or which felt threatened by the NJAC and therefore it held it unconstitutional. Which of the following statements about the Indian political system are correct? The president is both head of state and head of government. No, he is not head of government. Head of government is the prime minister. He is the head of state. Parliament is supreme. No, parliament is not supreme. The constitution is supreme. The Supreme Court is the guardian of the constitution. Yes, and DPSPs are justiciable. Justiciable means they can be taken to the court if they are not fulfilled. But DPSPs are not justiciable. They are guidelines given to the government. So our answer is 4, C only. So this was all about all the past year questions that we had. Total of 3 years, that is 6 papers have been discussed. और हमने इसमें देखा है कि मेजॉरिटी क्वेश्चंस राज्यसभा और प्रेसिडेंट से हैं. तो सबसे पहले हम प्रेसिडेंट से स्टार्ट करेंगे नेक्स्ट लेसन से, और फिर हम उसके बाद गवर्नर कवर करेंगे बिकॉज सम क्वेश्चंस हैव कम फ्रॉम द गवर्नर ऑल्सो, और एग्जीक्यूटिव कवर करने के बाद देन वील मूव टू द पार्लियामेंट, जहाँ पर हम और चीज़ों के बारे में बात करेंगे, पार्लियामेंट के बारे में बात करेंगे, राज्यसभा, लोकसभा, DPSPs, फंडामेंटल राइट्स, उन सब के बारे में ब्रीफली बात करनी स्टार्ट करेंगे.